Hey, beautiful soul. Hey, friend. We starting a new book to help you tap into your own psychic abilities. We'll be reading out of the Psychic Navigator. And we just gonna read it chapter by chapter. That's how I plan on breaking it down, God willing. So, of course, we got our energy on the board, welcoming in the good energy. Let's take a couple deep breaths and let's get started. As you'll see, the energy, we have green jasper, which strengthens the human connection to earth, energize the human physical body. The properties connect to the metaphysical and the mental and physical healing. Then we have amethyst, which is our all-purpose protection. It regenerates cells, okay, strengthens joints and bones. Then we have red aventurine, opens the flow of chi in the physical body. And then we have labradorite, which aids the body and spirit in healing itself. And we have, last but not least, rutilated quartz, which is an illuminator of the soul. It cleanses energies and aura. It is a protection against the ill thoughts of others and help reach the root of the problem. So those are the energies that we're starting with this week as we start to read the Psychic Navigator, harnessing your inner guidance. Just take a sip. Your never ending guidance. At one time or another, almost everyone has had some kind of psychic experience. Yes, it's true that some people have more extrasensory ability than others, yet we're all born psychic. This natural soul power isn't purely limited to transcendent masters or to individuals who have devoted lifetime to studying and practicing meditation. To be a psychic isn't about fortune telling, crystal balls, or predicting the future. It isn't just something we possess, it's more of a way of being. What does psychic mean? Put simply, the word psychic is from the Greek word psychosis, psychikos, psychikos, meaning of the soul. That word is spelled Psychickos, meaning of the soul. By definition, this means that as spiritual beings, we're able to access, receive, and transmit information that reaches beyond our physical body and our natural five senses. Throughout history, cultures all over the world have honored their spiritual principles and maintained a deep belief that human beings consist of much more than just physical bodies. Traditions were created with rituals such as chanting, dancing, and meditation that are still used to this day to remain connected to spirit and to fully utilize spiritual abilities. Yet, psychic abilities aren't exclusive to any particular group. The North American Indians have always had a strong belief in the afterlife and their own soul powers. Aborigines have been known to possess heightened telepathic strengths, which enable them to communicate telepathically with each other. with each other over many miles. And in the East, children are educated from an early age about the spiritual energy systems of the human body and its centers. As I mentioned previously, each and every one of us is equipped with a complex and highly tuned inner guidance system, which we can regularly tap into by using our extrasensory abilities. Receiving psychic information is all about energy. Everything is made up of energy. People, places, and even objects store it. And since we too are energy, we can receive and read information via our psychic senses. Being psychic is similar to the way television works. We can't see signals through the airway because they vibrate at such a high frequency, yet we know they're being transmitted. Our television sets then receive these signals and they're descrambled to form a picture on our screens. Psychic energy works in much the same way. We constantly receive information through our intuition, and the result is an impression or feeling that we didn't receive via our physical senses. As we develop our psychic strengths, we become more proficient at the descrambling. At this point, I'd like you to take a short break and answer these basic questions. Have you ever thought of someone out of the blue only to run into that person later in the day? Can you feel people's moods even before you meet them? Have you ever had a hunch that you didn't follow and later regretted it because it was correct? Have you ever known the outcome of a situation or an event before it happens? Can you walk into a room and instantly tell what the atmosphere is like? Do coincidences and synchronicities keep occurring in your life? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then it's important to realize that these are just a few examples of what being intuitive or psychic is all about. In other words, it's a sense of inner awareness. Being psychic is quite natural and can be a wonderful source of information to help you in life. One of the most common questions I'm asked is, why would I want to develop my psychic or intuitive ability? I usually respond by asking a set of questions back, such as, but wouldn't you like to improve your relationships, heighten your creative ability, help make the most of your career, receive intuitive guidance on important decisions, become familiar once again with your spirit, be connected to your loved ones who have passed on, enhance your physical abilities, feel even more connected to nature and the universe. You can benefit from all of the above and more by using and strengthening your psychic abilities. However, the one aspect most people have an issue with is trust. Have faith in yourself that you're entitled to live psychically, to see yourself and the world in a way you never thought possible. And let yourself experiment and play like a child when it comes to your abilities. After all, we were all born with a wonderful capacity to play. I just encourage you to remember how to do so. In the following chapters, I'm going to teach you not to only become aware of your inner guidance and the mechanics of how it functions, but I'll also show you how you can access it anytime you wish. By doing so, I believe you'll feel like a complete person. After all, your psychic abilities are a part of you, so why not use every part of yourself? Once you learn to tap into the wealth of information you already have, it could very well transform your life. Affirmations. I am opening myself up to my natural intuitive abilities. To be truly alive is to be psychic. I am opening myself up to my natural intuitive abilities. To be truly alive is to be psychic. I am opening myself up to my natural intuitive abilities. To be truly alive is to be psychic. Psychic abilities and intuition. When my students start exploring their psychic potential, they often ask, what's the difference between having psychic abilities and intuition? The words psychic and intuition are used interchangeably, and there's a fine line between the two. The use of one can often lead to the other as a natural progression. In fact, psychic abilities are simply the natural extension of our intuition. You're probably pretty familiar with intuition, which is what causes you to say, I've got a hunch that, or my instincts are telling me to, or I have a gut feeling that. Intuition is that gentle nudge that every so often just comes out of the blue. However, when you learn to recognize, notice, and act upon these feelings, you'll establish a strong foundation for the development of your psychic abilities. Thus, you'll be able to take control of your intuition, making it work for you. Practicing and using your intuition will result in a stronger link to your psychic awareness, but you may not know where to start or even what tools to use. Before we start, there's one important action I want you to take. Give yourself permission to explore and develop your intuition. You see, your intuition plays an important part in your intuitive mind. I'm sure you know how easy it is to dismiss an intuitive thought or feeling as though it was just your mind playing tricks on you. Children are particularly prone to announcing that their imaginary friend is around or that they're feeling uneasy about someone. It's our adult response to tell kids that it's all in their mind, it's just their imagination. The children then go on to believe that they were wrong. And this is where the seeds of doubt start to grow regarding intuition. As adults, we regularly dismiss our own insights by telling ourselves that we're imagining things. Yet, I believe that a well-developed imagination is a healthy part of the development process, and it can form a bridge between our intuition and our often dormant psychic abilities. I found the following exercise, which I use in my workshops, to be very helpful and fun to do. I'll ask someone to pretend that she's already psychically aware. She will then choose someone else in the room to whom she feels naturally drawn. She's instructed to give any information she's receiving, even if she feels that she's making it up. There's no pressure to be right, so she loosens up and has fun doing it. Her imagination and psychic abilities work hand in hand to create a flow of information. Sure, there are as many misses as there are hits, but the student and the rest of the class become pleasantly surprised at how much accurate information will be given. This is all because they're letting their imagination run free. So it's important to have fun with your imagination as you learn to expand and use your intuition in your daily life. Eventually, you will tap into even more of your psychic potential. Here are some simple suggestions you can try as a part of your development. Ask yourself, how many emails will I receive this morning? Or What will my boss be wearing today? When the phone rings, see if you can guess who's on the other end before you pick it up. When your utility bill arrives, try to guess how much it is before you open it. If you're feeling confident, see if you can divine a word or two from the next day's newspaper headline. You can practice these exercises, but also try to make up your own. You may want to write down your experiences in your psychic journal, which we'll discuss later in this chapter. No matter what you decide, keep in mind that you have to use your abilities to awaken them. You need to allow them to guide you. After all, we have everything we need to find the answers right inside our intuitive psychic selves. Yeah. Affirmations. I trust the potential of my imagination. I have faith in myself and my psychic abilities. I trust the potential of my imagination. I have faith in myself and my psychic abilities. I trust the potential of my imagination. I have faith in myself and my psychic abilities. The importance of learning the equipment. Did you know that you're already equipped with one of the fundamental pieces of equipment to provide you with an endless supply of psychic information and guidance? It's your body. It really is this simple. You need to look no further than your own physical body for answers. I got my first lesson in listening to my body when I was involved in a near fatal automobile accident, which I described in my first book, Born Knowing. The shock to my system due to the accident resulted in my energy centers, which are better known as chakra, explained in chapter 6, being forced open. I soon realized that my abilities, which I so often pushed away, were back with the strength and intensity that I never experienced before. I still didn't want to just accept this ability without some clear framework of understanding and appreciation. I wanted to know how and why this was happening. And more important, could I control it? After the accident, I devoted myself to studying the vital energies in and around the body. As I said in the previous section, we receive information constantly via our psychic senses, but most people don't realize that their body acts as a conduit in this process. In fact, I liken the body to one big psychic antenna. However, you don't have to look outside yourself or get into an accident to be psychic. Before you embark on your journey to discover and harness your inner guidance, you should first recognize and accept that you have a psychic spiritual body as well as a physical body that operates on its own level of receptivity. For every physical sense you have, there's a psychic sense to complement it. In fact, much research has been carried out to investigate how organs and glands play a vital role in accessing psychic information. These parts of the body don't just work on a psychological level, but they also act as receptors for information outside the physical world, thus helping to access and receive psychic information. Some of these glands and organs include the pituitary and pineal glands, the heart, the nerve endings, the brain, and the stomach. Basically, the entire body is used in this process. Since everything is made of energy, it's important to value this precious commodity and to appreciate its effects on your total physical well being. Ancient Eastern and Western spiritual philosophies concentrate heavily on the universal life force that runs through everything, including our very selves. This spiritual energy breathes life into our bodies and keep us connected to the universal force that surrounds us all. Chinese medicine calls it qi, while Hindu is known as prana. This force surges through our vital organs, permeating our bones, bloodstream, and other parts of the body along a network of internal systems called meridians. This spiritual energy is what healers and other natural health practitioners, such as acupuncturists and massage therapists, work with in the process of removing blockages in our energy system. When ignored, these blockages can manifest themselves in the body as ailments, aches, and pains, or they can create imbalances in our mental and emotional states. Keeping the energy flowing smoothly throughout our system promotes a healthier mind and body. Since we live in a world that's so affected by stress, it's really important to relieve ourselves of it, whether it's through massage therapy, yoga, meditation, or physical exercise. Find out what works best for you. Your body has a way of sending you signals through its own psychic language, be it a gut response, a physical sensation, an emotion, or even a dream. Your body is talking to you. Most of us don't pay enough attention to these impulses or heed such signals until something goes wrong. So during the process of development, don't push those physical sensations or your feelings away. Embrace them and listen to them. Through meditation, you'll often be able to find the answer to what your body is trying to say. So just ask. You may not get anything at first, but it's worth preserving, and it really does get easier with practice. To ignore your body and your feelings is to ignore your intuition. For example, I know from experience that when I dream that I'm immersed in water up to my chest, it's often symptomatic of the onset of bronchitis. So I rest and dose up with vitamin C as a precaution. In other words, I acknowledge and act on the warning signs. Emily, a young woman who participated in one of my workshops, also successfully listened to her inner voice. She told us that she'd been feeling restless at her high tech job, so she decided to move on. Emily started going on interviews, and it wasn't before long she was offered a job with a new company, right before the now famous .com crash. The company wanted her to leave her present job immediately, and even though the new position seemed just right for her, Emily noticed that her stomach felt uneasy every time she left their office. Although everything appeared perfect, something just felt wrong. It was though her gut was trying to tell her something isn't right. Finally, she trusted her intuition and declined the position. It was the right choice. 2 months later, Emily found out that the company had been one of those rapid startups and was still waiting on round two funding. It never came, and the company collapsed. But because she paused, listened to, and trusted her feelings, it saved her from losing a stable job. And there's a happy ending, as Emily now worked for a new company. To this day, she always trusts and uses her abilities when making decisions. So the moral of this story is clear and simple. Listen to what your intuition is telling you. In addition to listening to your inner voice, taking care of your body and your health should be a top priority, especially when you're developing your psychic abilities. Ultimately, you are responsible for your physical health. I believe that it's essential to follow a sensible regimen of good health, one of balance and moderation. Eat a balanced diet, drink plenty of water, rest, and exercise. If you have a clean and healthy body, you will stand a better chance of reducing blocks, which will greatly help you in becoming more receptive. Remember that doing psychic work can make you extra sensitive, so you may occasionally feel tired. Mother Nature is a wonderful healer, so try to go for long walks in the woods or at the beach, and be sure to breathe. When working with your intuitive abilities, it's perfectly okay if it gets to be too much. Just take a break from your training for a few days or however long you need. You are here in the physical world, and you have to stay balanced and grounded with your physical life as well as your spiritual life. Your body isn't just a vehicle to get you around while you're here on earth. It's meant to assist you while your spirit is living in it. Hopefully, you'll never look at your body in the same way again. Know how special you are and your body are, and honor your equipment. The affirmation: every day and in every way, I become stronger and healthier. I acknowledge and act upon my body's message. Every day and in every way, I become stronger and healthier. I acknowledge and act upon my body's messages. Preparing yourself to begin. Congratulations on making the decision to become even more of who you really are, and for taking the first step to discover that you're truly more than this physical body. Now that I've established some of the basics, let's explore and discover your full potential. Everyone will develop psychically in their own way, in their own time. Do not rush. Take all the time you need. After all, it took you many years to pull away from your natural intuitive abilities, so finding your way back isn't going to happen overnight. First of all, find a room that you can set aside just for you, where you can meditate, study, and practice all the different exercises in this book. If you don't have enough space for a room of your own, try to set aside a corner of another room or any place that can be just yours during your development practice. Most of all, this should be a place where you won't be disturbed when you need to retreat for your quiet time. Shut off the computer, unplug the phone, and know that the email will wait. Try to make this special place uncluttered. It will also help to be in a well ventilated area or have a window nearby so you can let in fresh air to renew the energy. You don't need a lot of furniture. A comfortable chair and a small table are really all that's required. You might want to put fresh flowers in your space to help with the energy. And you also may decide to set up a personal altar with your favorite photos, crystals, and so forth. Some people choose low lighting, burn a votive candle or incense, and play soft music. These aren't necessities, just suggestions. In my meditation room, I have a comfortable chair, two or three beautiful drawings of my guides for inspirations, and some depictions of spiritual leaders who I feel connected to. The room is painted in soft blues to create a tranquil atmosphere. By creating your own special area and using it for your quiet time, meditation, and personal development, you'll slowly start to infuse the area with positive psychic energy, and it will take on its own feeling. The bottom line is, it should be your very own place of warmth and peace. I find that it's best to meditate and practice at the same time every day so you can look forward to your special time with yourself and spirit. By doing so, you'll train your mind and make a commitment, and through regular practice, it will get steadily easier to meditate and develop your inner guidance. Earlier, I stressed the importance of keeping a journal during your development. I highly recommend that you keep it nearby in your special area. You may decide to have more than one in different locations so that no matter where you are, you'll have a place to record your progress, along with those intuitive flashes and impressions. Remember, psychic thought, excuse me, can happen anytime, anywhere. Your journal will become a valuable resource in the future as you look back on your progress. It will show you where you were right or wrong, and it may be even become a teaching manual in itself. I have journals that go back years in which I reported hunches, impressions, exercises, and of course, my dreams at night. When I look at them today, I can see the progression of my abilities. In fact, some of my teachings from this book came right from those very journals. But please don't get hung up on whether you're right or wrong. Making the effort is the important part, and it will have a great value as you discover how your intuition receives information. Once again, it's important to remember that everyone receives and works with their intuitive psychic abilities in their own way. So you should never try to emulate someone else. As you start your first journal, make sure you record your entries with a time and date so that you can see your progress when you look back days, months, and years later. Here are a few ideas that you may want to put in your psychic journal. Any unexpected thoughts or impressions that come to you that seem outside of your day-to-day routine, even if you feel that you're making them up. Coincidences and synchronicities that seem to continually run through your life. The same numbers that keep showing up in your life, whether you see them on license plates, clocks, phone numbers, or what have you. Your dreams or any images and emotions you remembered from your sleep. Any pictures or symbols that come into your mind. Try not to edit what you're receiving. Your personal goals and desires. Affirmations that really inspire you or make up your own. Just the process of setting up your special area and keeping a psychic journal will by itself help your consciousness expand because you're beginning to make an effort in working with and getting to know your own inner guidance system. This will lead to a gradual awakening as you start to notice how you're working together with your mind and spirit and trusting and interpreting the language of your soul. Enjoy the journey. Affirmations. I give myself permission to visit my sacred space as often as I wish. I choose to make a commitment to myself and my inner guidance at this time. I give myself permission to visit my sacred space as often as I wish. I choose to make a commitment to myself and my inner guidance at this time. I give myself permission to visit my sacred space as often as I wish. I choose to make a commitment to myself and my inner guidance at this time. I hope that you received something, some sort of awareness or affirmation or expanded thought process, some sort of clarity within yourself, about your abilities, about the possibilities that you can embark on with psychically navigating through this world, through your own self, through the esoteric realms and dimensions. Again, this is about learning yourself from the inside out. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you.